Right now on Up with KREM, you will need a COVID vaccine or a negative test to attend your next big event in Washington when the new mandate takes effect, and what types of events will be exempt.
So when we have large events around the town, we see quite an influx.
Large events mean a lot of foot traffic for downtown businesses. How the new mandate could affect the flow of customers for downtown restaurants. And a young Idaho climber makes history after climbing some of the state's highest peaks.
Woohoo! He did it!
I can't believe it!
Up with KREM begins now.
Hey there, good morning friends. Take a live look outside. Look at those beautiful fall colors. It is fall, y'all. Look at the orange.
Wow.
And there's a lot of great foliage all around the Northwest right now.
That's actually keratin shining through in the leaves.
Really? Wow, that's a
That's your fun science fact for the day.
Fun science fact of the day. Well, hey friends, glad to have you here with us on this Friday morning. We made it. It is Friday.
We did it.
Made it to the weekend. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Jeremy Legoo. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. We've got a lot going on. And Tim, as leaves change, it's starting to feel a little more like fall. But the good news is a warm weekend.
A warm weekend and a great weekend to get out and do some fall things. I know a lot of people will probably be at Green Bluff once again. It's been busy. Don't forget to make your reservations. But also Scarywood, that's where you will be, right?
Oh yeah, I'm heading to Scarywood. You got to get in a good scare. It's the month of October. I've watched enough horror movies so far this month that I'm scared in the Outdoor Weather Center every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
like, oh, what was that noise?
Oh my goodness, it is the South Hill. You'll be okay.
All
okay,
right,
but the rest of town though, really great weather everywhere.
Yeah, great weather everywhere, and you know, no reason to be scared unless you're watching too many scary movies like what I've done. But what we are seeing is temps still hovering around 42 here in town, 44 in Coeur d'Alene and 43 in Sandpoint. Mid-40s out in central Washington, and that comes with a bit of cloud cover. We always talk about radiative cooling. Today's kind of the other end of the spectrum. We have moisture, we have cloud cover, we have a little bit of wind, everything you need to kind of hold on to some heat overnight. So our temps stay in the 40s. We're going to see some moisture continue kind of off to northeastern Washington and North Idaho. Later this afternoon, it's a little heavier than it is now, but we're still talking showers, not full-on rain. And that takes us through the day today before things start clearing out and warming up this weekend. Saturday is the pick day for sure. Tim asked me earlier and I said, oh yeah, that's it. Sunny, temps in the upper 60s. It is going to be beautiful. Breaking it down hour by hour for you though. We go from 40s this morning to the mid and upper 50s later on this afternoon. Might catch a little peak of sunshine later today. Not bad if you're asking me, but the weekend is where it's at. Saturday, mid to upper 60s with plenty of sunshine. Still kind of warm on Sunday. We have the possibility for some late day showers.
Governor Jay Inslee expanding his vaccine mandate. Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test will soon be required to attend large events in Washington.
We cannot and we will not surrender to this disease. We cannot and we will not think that the status quo is good enough. We have got to get on top of this disease and knock these numbers down.
The order applies to indoor events with 1,000 or more people. It also applies to outdoor events with more than 10,000 attendees. It takes effect November 15th for those 12 and older. Religious services and events at schools are exempt. The new mandate has the potential to impact tourism or even planned conventions for our area. KREM 2 spoke with Visit Spokane's Kate Hudson, and she says some venues already have a vaccine requirement or a negative test.
I don't think that will affect conventions in the Spokane area at all. And frankly, the Delta variant itself is what has caused more of an impact to events and conventions here in Spokane. And we've had several conventions cancel because of the Delta variant and the spike that we saw. So instituting these new restrictions statewide, I don't foresee that being a hard sell to conventions and meeting planners. And I think if people want to go to a Zags game bad enough or a Cougs game bad enough or to go see a concert, they'll go get that test if they don't want to get vaccinated to show proof of the negative test.
Governor Inslee's announcement means large events in downtown Spokane will have stricter entrance guidelines. Nicole Hernandez spoke to a local restaurant about how the strict rules could affect foot traffic and business downtown.
Yeah, that's right. So because unvaccinated people will need a negative COVID-19 test to go into some of these larger events, it could change the amount of people we're seeing downtown on the weekends and during these event times. So I was actually able to watch this announcement from Governor Inslee with the owner, or one of the owners of O'Donnell's, right behind me.
Helps out business for O'Donnell's on Monroe. People just stopping by to get a meal or a drink.
So when we have large events around the town, we see quite an influx, and certainly nice to see people out again enjoying themselves.
Governor Inslee's announcement could mean a change in people downtown for big events, but Chase Van Cotham is not concerned.
I don't think it's going to affect us at all. Yeah, we had the last Kraken game here recently, and they had the requirement for that, and we were busy as ever.
That game required proof of vaccination or a negative test, similar to the new mandate. The new rules start November 15th. At the arena, the Chiefs versus Thunderbirds game on the 19th will be the first event following these new rules. The First Interstate Center for the Arts will have to make changes by the time comedian Hassan Minhaj comes to town, and the Knitting Factory's first event under the new rules will be ex-ambassadors.
Now, each of those locations will have to come up with their own system as to how they will show proof of vaccination or test status as before this November 15th deadline. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Well, ahead of that new rule comes the vaccine mandate affecting thousands of state workers. Monday is the deadline for them to show proof they're fully vaccinated against COVID-19. If not, they could lose their jobs. A trip to California turned into a trip to the hospital for President Bill Clinton. He apparently was not feeling well on Tuesday and was taken to a hospital in Irvine, California. We know it is not COVID or a heart-related issue. A doctor says it's believed to be a blood infection. They say he could be released as soon as today, but will remain on antibiotics. Time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. A federal government contracted medical team started to arrive at a Spokane care facility on Thursday to help with the COVID-19 unit. Avalon Care Center is set to receive a team of 8 nurses and 10 certified nursing assistants. A representative at Avalon said that they anticipated the first hospital admissions to arrive today as well. The Washington Department of Health says the medical staff is from ACI Federal, and they could potentially make about 22 beds available at area hospitals. Police charged one minor with assault after a fight broke out with a transgender student at Salk Middle School. Ian Ring, who says he was attacked, is 13 years old and in the 7th grade. In the video, you can see a crowd of middle schoolers watching while Ring is punched. He says this happened while they were waiting for the bus after school. The assault left Ring with bruises. Now his family is trying to get protection orders against the students who punched Ring, but his mom says that has been a struggle.
Having to figure out how to get that done has been challenging because there's no answer. This doesn't seem to be like anything that Spokane, or I'm not sure how many communities know how to deal with, but not effectively.
Spokane police say they are not allowed to give out names of minors in their reports. In order to be considered a hate crime, though, police need evidence that the attack happened because of Ring being a part of a protected group. A 9-year-old from Idaho is the 4th youngest person to reach all of Idaho's peaks above 12,000 feet. Camden Patry set a goal to climb all of them at the age of 8 years old, but he says he just wasn't ready then. So he decided to train in the Smoky Mountains with his parents for a year until the real climbing began. He finished his first peak on June 26th of this year. Almost 3 months later, he completed all 9 of Idaho's highest peaks.
Woohoo! He did it!
I can't believe it!
I saw the video. You seemed pretty excited to be at the top of the very 9th one. What was it like to get there?
It felt like so good. I felt like it was like such a good feeling that I couldn't keep the smile off my face when I got to the top of my final 12er.
The 3 before him were done in 2019, so it appears to be a recent trend. He says his good friends completed the peaks at ages 6 and 7, and they were the ones who motivated him to do the same. Wow, very motivated kids. Well, it only took 2 games for the Kraken to get their first win in franchise history, and it was a fight until the end against the Predators in Nashville. With about 1 minute left on the clock in the third period, the Kraken secured a 2-goal lead. The Kraken's next game tomorrow night at 4 against the Blue Jackets. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media. Scares, pumpkins, and races. Coming up after the break, what fall festivities you can attend around the Inland Northwest this weekend. And a big step closer to another booster shot. Coming up a little bit later on Up with KREM, what has to happen next for millions of Americans to be able to get a 3rd dose of Moderna's COVID vaccine as the FDA weighs another option.